Having all of these guns behind me is a lot of fun, but I'm gonna be going over the 3 platforms that I think every gun owner should have. There is nothing wrong with going out and buying fun guns and just enjoying it because firearms are enjoyable. And there's nothing wrong with that, but there are 3 firearm platforms that every gun owner should have. We're gonna go over each one of those along with a 4th that not many people think about that we're gonna discuss a little bit more in the end. First, let's go over the companies that support the channel and things I do here and allow me to do free content for you guys. And I appreciate them so much and I would love it if you guys would show them some love. Lockton Company just came out with a Tactical Advisor Pomade. It's my new hair product and I'm so excited about it. If you guys do pick some up yourself, use code Tactical Advisor, you can save some money, and there's a link in the description to it. Help support the channel and wear some awesome product in your hair along with a bunch of other stuff on their website that is really good for your body. The ingredients are phenomenal, like beeswax and essential oils and things that's actually good for your skin and your body. They have deodorants, body scrubs, shampoos, beard oils, a bunch of stuff on their website, so definitely check them out. We'll go over a couple other sponsors throughout the video. I'm trying to break these up a little bit for you guys so it's not all at one time. Let me know if you'd rather all at once or if you'd rather it broken up throughout the video. I'm just trying to do what's best for you guys, but also these companies are huge supporters of the channel. I can't thank them enough. So you guys showing them some love is one of the best things you can do for me as well. The sponsor of today's video is Semtech. Semtech is this device here, and this is something I've been using a while in the vault. What's really cool about this is this uses cellular service, not like a camera that can be disabled. This uses a cellular, so you have to pay a $4 a month plan, but it's worth it because this sends you an immediate text message for any kind of motion, light, vibration that it notices, and it sends it to your phone and your app as well. You can put this in the vault room, your gun safe, in your suitcase while you're traveling, your trailer that you have at your construction site that you're working at, anything that you want to know what is going on and be notified immediately, this is the way to do it. And it is a really cool device that I've been using in this vault as a primary source of security for a handful of months now, and is something that I've grown to really trust over my cameras, just because my cameras can kind of go down depending on electric, Wi-Fi, all these other things that cameras kind of have downfalls to. This doesn't have those downfalls. Definitely check out Semtech, and I thank them for being a video sponsor. So the very first gun, and I think you guys can probably guess this, is going to be a rifle, a AR platform style-ish rifle, whether that be like an AK, it doesn't really matter, whatever is your fancy. Anything around this style is a really, really important and probably one of the most important guns to have. Not gonna say the most important because there's some other guns that I think are also equally as important, which we'll talk about here in a second, but this is one of the most important because of how versatile it is. You can use this close quarters, you can use this in long distance, you can use this in medium distance. The reason I like this one, and the reason I picked this one is because of its size and the things that it's capable of. I have the night vision setup here so I can use this at night. I have a red dot here so I can use it at close range. I have this magnifier so I can use it at mid to longer range. And then I have a good quality light setup here with the cloud defensive rain to be able to reach out a really far distance, but also works really good inside. Got a suppressor to be able to keep things a little more quiet and not blow my ears off. I do shoot this inside. And just this whole rifle is built out in a way that I'm able to use it in different situations. I got a folding stock adapter so it's a little smaller and compact depending how I transport it. But a rifle like this is one of the most important and one of the 3 platforms that I think you should have. The next platform is gonna be a handgun, and this is gonna be equally as important because this is the gun that you're most likely gonna have at your bedside, you're gonna have concealed carry, or you're gonna have on your hip at work. And this is a gun that is gonna be used in a lot of roles. This platform has a lot of benefits, but it also does have some shortcomings, and where those shortcomings are is your longer distances. Can it be done? Can you shoot this at longer distances? You can, but it's not nearly as accurate or consistent. So you're gonna wanna choose this for more of your close range things, concealed carry, home defense, like the stuff we discussed. And the handgun platform you can really dive deep into because you're gonna want more of a full-size gun, but some people don't want to conceal carry full-size because they're too big, so they want something smaller. But when you go too small, it's really hard to be accurate with, and you don't have the capacity. There's a lot of things that you want to decide when it comes to a handgun, and nothing says that you have to have one of each one of these categories or these platforms. I think it is important to get one quality set of each before you say, okay, I've got 7 handguns and I don't have a rifle or the next categories that we're gonna discuss. But once you get all 3 of these platforms that I discuss, then you can delve deeper into each category and get more styles that fill different roles. And there are absolutely different guns for different roles that all feel a little bit better. The gun that I just showed you, that rifle, the downsides are just really bulky and heavy. That's not great for if I want to hike with it, or if I want to travel longer distances, or if I want a lightweight setup to be able to maneuver a little bit easier. Like if I'm not running night vision and I know that for that particular thing that I'm doing, then that might not be the best rifle in the world. Maybe I'd build something else like this, because this is a really, really nice lightweight gun that is more built for something like that. It has all the necessities that I want. It has backup iron sights, a really good quality optic, and a nice flashlight, and solid components. The Cobalt Kinetics rifle, very solid rifle, but it is a little more built specifically for that. So you can obviously dive a lot deeper. As you can see behind me, I've dove a little bit too deep. Can you dive too deep? I don't think so. I've just scratched the surface, just you wait. But then you can start going into more particular things, and we could talk about that in a further video. Before we go over this next platform, let's go over a couple channel sponsors. Tecto Knives is a knife company that I've been using for a long time now for work, for play, here at the property. Really like their knives. Their automatic knives are wildly responsive. It's one of my favorite things about them is how powerful they are, and they're very durable, and they've worked great for me here at the property and at work, which a couple of knives has not worked out so well. They've fallen apart, and these ones have not. So I definitely like these knives. And then Howitzer is a clothing brand that donates 5% of proceeds to charity, and they've donated over $2 million, and they have a Tactical Advisor shirt, which is even cooler and makes them amazing. So there's a link in the description for that if you guys are interested in those. Let's get right into this rifle, and this is going to be your long range gun. Does it have to be a bolt action? Absolutely not. I prefer a bolt action for the more longer precision distance, but there's nothing wrong with going like a DMR setup. But the concept is a gun that can reach anywhere from 3 to 1,000 yards, and that's where this falls into place. Can my AR-15 reach those distances? 500 yards, absolutely. It can absolutely hit those distances, but this can do it much more reliably and consistency, and that's the biggest thing, especially when you're going to be engaging on something. You want to be able to make that hit and not just be shooting around and be like, okay, I'll find it when I find where my holdover is. With this, you're going to make that a lot quicker and easier. So we discussed how this really benefits in that longer range. This does have some shortcomings in close distance. Can you shoot this at 25 yards? Absolutely. There has been confirmed engagements with a rifle like this at 25 yards, and it can happen. You just use like any other gun. There's no difference. You point, you aim, you shoot. But it is not something I am going to choose. If I'm going to make entry into a house, this isn't going to be my primary role. Super brief history, I've done entries and I'm also sniper. So I've used both of these platforms, and this is not the one I'm choosing for entry. But if I'm sitting back at 150, 200 yards, this is not the rifle down there that I'm choosing. This is the rifle that I'm going to choose. Actually, the rifle right there is what I choose. That is my work rifle, which I don't think you can see it, but I'll show you a B-roll of it. But this is the gun that I'm going to choose for those situations. So I think these three guns are the most important you can get. And the reason being is because each of these guns fits a role that's very specific. You've got your close range, concealed carry, home defense, and the handgun. You've got your still somewhat close range home defense, but you're looking more at mid range rifle. And then you have your mid to long range. So they overlap a little bit, which is what you want, but they also excel in other areas. And that's kind of what you want to do when you're building out a setup of three. Before we get into the fourth and the honorary mention, we're going to go over Brownells. They're the fourth channel sponsor and one of the biggest. And I actually have a build video on this if you guys are interested in watching that, going over this whole build. This is the 6.5 Creamer build with Brownells. And they've been a phenomenal supporter of this company and the business that I do here. And I cannot thank them enough for that. There are discount codes all in the description for your assistance when wanting to get things for such projects. But now let's go over the fourth option and category. That is going to be a shotgun. And this might surprise some of you because shotguns were getting phased out. And honestly, for work, they stopped carrying shotguns. I've never carried a shotgun in my vehicle. And a lot of the guys don't. Some of the older guys do just because that's what they started with, but I don't, and I never have. I might start doing it again because it's starting to make its role back up. It kind of just took a plummet down because the more versatile in this, man, I didn't say that word at all right. The more versatility of, I should edit that out, but I'm probably not going to. You guys know I say things horribly wrong all the time. The more versatility of the rifle came in, and people stopped grabbing these just because it made more sense to grab that rifle because, especially in your rural areas where you just didn't know your distances, and this has a lot of fall off there at that mid-range. And on to that. Can you make a 100-yard shot with this with a slug? Yes, you can, but it's not the best choice if you're going to choose between the setups that we have in front of us. So why would you want a shotgun if it's kind of falling down and nobody really wanted them anymore, and that's kind of where it's been? These also fill a really, really big role. One of them being in home defense, but also in modern technology and the things that are coming out. Shotguns are very deadly weapons. They have the ability to shoot slugs, they have the ability to shoot birdshot, they have the ability to shoot buckshot. They have a lot of different loads that you can use. You have other ones as well that you can throw on these things that might be illegal, might not be illegal. It's up to you depending on what you can and cannot do, or what you choose to do. But these do have a lot of versatility in that. They also are very reliable and fairly inexpensive, and most people just have them. Most people just have a shotgun. But this is the Remington 870 build with the chisel machine stock. It's custom work by Van Comp. They did the stuff on the barrel and really made this thing sweet. You got a enclosed optic here from CH Precision. Just a really sharp looking shotgun. But I do think these have a really good role. I don't think they're quite as important as these ones. I would go with these three first and then get yourself a nice shotgun, especially since you can choose your load depending on what you're doing and what you want to do with this. Now, some of you might ask, what about a more jack of all trades, you know, that can do all those things but not a master at any of them? And that's not a bad idea as well. If you want to build something kind of like this where it's kind of that middle ground of both, you could throw a offset red dot on this and be able to use this for close to mid-range, and then you can also use this for mid to long range because you have an optic that is a lot more capable. You know, this is a 1:8, so that gives you that 8 times magnification to reach out a little bit farther. You kind of have a platform that does a little bit more. Now, what I would say is I would put this in as a 4th or 5th category as well. I would put this in between your long range and your rifle, just because this kind of fills that role as well. I love overlapping. That's my favorite thing in the world with this, is where something's starting to fall off, something's already picked up and it takes it to the next level, and then you kind of continue with that way. So I think this fits right in between there. Now, you can go with something like this depending on your location, and that's gonna be a thing for you to decide. Do you have spots where you live that are 1,000 yards? If you're like, no, I just live in a really wooded area where like the farthest shot is 100 yards, then maybe that's not something you need right away. Then build something specific to you and your situation. This is just a video of me going over the 3 platforms that I think are the most important, and then you can kind of adjust that depending on your situation and what you're doing. Some people might be like, I'm never gonna engage anything at 1,000 yards. Why would I do that? Then maybe that's not the platform for you, but I do see a need for that, and I do think it's important. For you AK lovers, I'm not hating on you. Absolutely love the AK platform as well. I did mention already that it can be an AK as well. It doesn't have to be an AR. So you can do the same thing with your AKs. Whatever platform it is, it's okay. Now, last thing I wanna mention, once you get these, then it is completely okay with going out and buying a bunch of different guns. This video is not me saying that you can't have a bunch of guns or fun guns or different styles or different categories of firearms. That is completely okay. You see this room, I mean, I have a ton of different categories, and there's other ones that fill different roles. But what I'm saying is you should spend your money in the right way first. What I don't want to see people do, what a lot of people end up doing, is they'll go out and they'll buy 3 AR-15s that all do the exact same thing. I have a couple guns that are all set up almost identical, and it's like, okay, well, that's 3 guns that all do the exact same role. They're not helping you in any way. So get guns that are all going to fill different roles. Once you have those guns, get whatever you want. Have a lot of fun with it. Get a lever action. You know what? I'm going to bring this one out. Get yourself a lever action like this and have fun with it. Is this a gun that I think is going to be useful in some situations? Probably not. Does it have a role? Yes, it does. I mean, it's something I can hunt with, and it's a 45-70, so it could do a lot of damage, and you can suppress it and all these things, and it's just wildly sweet. It's a Henry Big Boy X done by Mad Pig Customs with Midwest Industries parts. I will have a build video on this one as well coming. Then you can go out and buy these extra guns and have fun with it. So these do have roles and places and spots where it's like, okay, yeah, these are neat, but there's the 3 that I discussed that I think are the most important. I could go on this forever and nitpick each category, be like, okay, this gun, and show you where they all fall in line. I'm just showing you the 3 most important for those of you that are trying to get the important from there to start, and then from there you can really fill those voids as needed. But this is a very good style of gun, and I know a lot of people have mentioned it. If I didn't say it, they'd be like, well, what about a subgun, or what about 300 blackout? Super important. I agree, very important, but Hopefully this video was helpful to you. That was the goal, is just to be able to kind of give you a starting point for those of you that are looking to start fresh, or maybe those of you that are already kind of starting, have a rifle, maybe you have a handgun, you're kind of looking for the next one, maybe what's the next role. These are the 3 that I think are the most important, and then the 4, the 5, the 6, you know, that it continues to go on. But if you're looking to support the channel and the things that you hear, there's a couple ways to do that. Down in the description are some discount codes, and there's a link to my website. Linktree deleted my stuff, and it was very frustrating and super stressful, so we had to get a team together super quickly on a weekend, which was difficult. And a huge shout out to my brother at the Art of Self-Reliance and getting that set up for me with some guys, and we got a website built. So there's a link to my website. That is going to be a really cool thing. Just wait, I've got a lot of plans for it. It's under construction right now, so it kind of stinks now, but we got a lot of plans for the website. So stay tuned for that, and using those links and discount codes are a massive support. Thank you all so much.